بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. So now we complete love. Let's move on to shirk in khawf, in fear. Shirk al-khawf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Ali Imran, إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياءه فلا تخافوهم وخافون إن كنتم مؤمنين. It's only the shaitan that instigates to you to fear his awliya. The shaitan instigates to you to fear the shaitan's side, the people on the shaitan's side, his helper, supporter. So don't fear them, but fear me. Fear me, Allah is saying, fear him only. If you are true believers, in kuntum mu'mineen. This is what the mushrikeen used to do to the believers, to try to get them to fear their statues or their dead, who they call dead saints or their dead awliya. Fear has three types. The first one is al-khawf al-shirki, fear that is shirk. And that's to fear a human or creation with honor, love, humility, glorification, and ennoblement, as you would Allah. That's like fearing a dead person, the fear of a dead person with love and honor, that he can harm, curse, or benefit you. Fear a statue or dead, that he may take your wealth or money, or he may be upset at you, or take away your blessings. إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة ولم يخش إلا الله فعسى أولئك أن يكونوا من المهتدين. Surah At-Tawbah. The mosques of Allah shall be maintained by those who believe in Allah on the last day, perform their salah, وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة, give their zakah, ولم يخش إلا الله, and fear not none but Allah. Fear not none but Allah. Khashya is fear with honor. It has with it honor, reverence, and love in a worship fashion. This type of shirk and fear, to fear from other than Allah in this manner, that one will be touched by harm by a creation, or that he has powers only, fear of powers that only Allah has, this is major shirk. If one, for example, claims Allah gave a living or dead saint shafa'ah or some power to do that which only Allah can do, that's shirk and khawf. If one claims that saint or whatever it may be got those power on his own, Allah didn't give it to him, that's the same thing. He can bring him poverty, he can bring him illness. Fear of that is also major shirk. Whether you think Allah gave it to them, whether they think Allah gave it to them, or that those awliya attained that power on their own. This is what the mushrikeen thought of their statues and their idols. And you look and you resemble, you can compare, and we don't have time to give many examples, but you resemble the shirk that you see in some Muslim societies today, resembles this very much. This is what the grave worshippers of the Ummah do today. They fear those who possibly some may have been righteous throughout their life. They're now in their grave. So now people worship him in a way. Sometimes it's evil people in the grave. Sometimes it's actually no one in the grave. They fear them like they fear Allah, possibly fear them more than Allah. How so? Let me give you a detailed example how. You go to someone, he'll give you probably 100 oaths by Allah on a lie. And if you say, give me an oath by Sitna Zainab, someone who he claims is a wali or a waliya or someone they cherish, he will consider that saint with more power than Allah. He won't give you an oath on a lie by him. Why? For the sole reason that in his heart, the love for that wali is more than the love of Allah. His fear of that wali and the power he may inflict on him is more than the fear of Allah. So 100 oaths by Allah and Allah I'll give you, but not one by Sitna Zainab, like they say. You can see that an example how Shia went to flocks defending who they claim Sitna Zainab in Iraq. The motivation and inspiration that took the Shia that they're from Iraq and from Hezbollah and the sermons of their leaders is how they need to work, how they need to defend the monument, the grave of Sitna Zainab. الخوف الذي يحمل على ترك واجب أو فعل محرم is number two. Number two type of fear. Fear that causes one to leave an ordain or to do a prohibition. That's the second type of fear. This is not shirk as many think of, but this is haram. Haram type of fear. To leave that which is obligatory, like ordaining the good, forbidding the evil, with no proper reason or justification except fear of people, that's haram. And this usually, this fear is a figment of one's imagination instilled by the shaitan. It's an imaginary fear, or possibly at times it's a minute fear, but not sufficient for one to leave and ordain or to do a haram. إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياء فلا, like not speaking the truth. And especially those who the burden is on them, the people who are of ilm. إنما ذلكم الشيطان يخوف أولياء فلا تخافون وخافون إن كنتم مؤمنين. حديث أبي سعيد الخدري رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يمنعن أحدكم هيبة الناس أن يقول في حق إذا رآه أو شهده أو سمعه. Let not the fear of people stop you from speaking or testifying to that which you know of truth. This hadith deters one, and it's in the Silsila Sahihah. This hadith deters one from not speaking the truth and makes it haram. And that's basically why we call certain category of people the cowards of the ummah. Because even if it means loss of wages or fear of being hit or cursed or losing followers, that's not the type of fear that you can remain silent in. And for those who refuse to speak the truth, this hadith is talking about those who refuse to speak the truth. Imagine how it is for those who are on the side of the evil. If this is for those who do not speak the truth, then imagine those who testify and side with the evil. This is an area where many go into wrong in it. They read a quote of two of Ibn Taymiyyah, as happens so much, or Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, for example, on fear, and then they declare half the ummah mushrikeen kuffar. This type of fear that I just mentioned is haram, but it's not shirk unless it gets to the level we spoke about in number one. So number two we got. Number three is al-khawf bin Allah ta'ala. The next one is fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fear of Allah that contains with it love, honor, humility, reverence. That's the fear, that's a wajib. And it's a wajib for only from Allah, only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fear from the torment of Allah. You fear from the torment of Allah. ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامٍ وَخَافَ وَعِيدٍ in Surah Ibrahim. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ in Surah Ar-Rahman. This fear, whoever established this fear and establishes it good, this is among the peak of Iman, and it's great unless it makes one despair and give up hope. Then it's gone wrong. The fourth type of fear is al-khawf al-jibilli, the natural type of fear. This is mubah. If there's an actual reason for it, natural fear, then it's mubah. For example, enemy right in front of you and the sword is out. A lion right in front of you. You're drowning, in the middle of drowning. A house collapsing on you. It's shaking and collapsing. This is the fear that Allah said in Surah Al-Qasas about Musa. فَخَرَجَ مِنَا خَائِفًا يَتَرَقَّبُ. He went out of the town fearing. Even though it's not considered shirk, there's another aspect to it. The stronger one's iman is, the less he'll have of this type of fear. You have some of the Salaf who made sujood and a lion over their heads. And the lion breathing over their head, they didn't get scared. And if you see Musa, he was afraid at one time. Allah quotes him afraid. But towards the end of his messagehood, when Bani Israel were hesitant, قَالَ كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعِيَ رَبِّي. He was at the outmost of iman. The next type of shirk is shirk al-raja and hope. Raja is hope. Shirk and raja. To have hope in a creation in a matter that only you should have hope in Allah in. Those who have hope, for example, in creation, that in matters that only Allah can provide, like for example, providing a child or doing a curse or something that's only under the will and control of Allah, this is major shirk that takes one out of Islam. Going to a doctor, that's means. That's not associating a doctor in the level of Allah. That's not believing the doctor in himself can cure or has supernatural powers, or a doctor in the west coast of the universe can cure someone in the east coast. That becomes shirk with no means available. But if he goes and gives you medication, that's not shirk right there.